There are some progress. And why we call it some progress? Because we have break the stalemate of non-communication to starting a communication with the Saudis. Honestly, from our perspective in Qatar, we want to understand the grievances, we want to study them and to assess them, and to look at the solutions that can safeguard us in the future from any other potential crisis.
So let's take a look at some of the original claims. The Qatari royal family had licensed the funding of terrorism across the Middle East for decades. One of the claims, one of the demands to close down Al Jazeera, to downgrade ties with Iran and close the Turkish military base in Qatar, and to end contact with groups such as the Muslim Brotherhood. The Wall Street Journal reporting recently that as part of an impending thaw, Doha was, quote, willing to sever ties with the Muslim Brotherhood. Is that true?
First of all, we are a country, we are not a political party. So severing ties with political party, I don't understand what is the background of it. But Qatar has never supported Muslim Brotherhood, and it has never have a direct relation with Muslim Brotherhood as a political party. As long as they are participating in governments that elected by their own people, we have to deal with those governments. We have to deal with the people who are working in those governments. The people of those countries like Tunisia, Egypt, those are the ones who should be asked why they choose them and they didn't choose another option. We believe in Qatar that we cannot dictate for other peoples what to choose and what to not if we want to really help the countries and help the people. Second, regarding the funding of terrorism, this has been proven by all our allies, by the international community, that this premise has no basis at all.
Can you share whether you are prepared to concede in any way, and if so, how? And what are Qatar's demands going forward?
Well, I think it's very clear for us. This situation has no winner. Everybody loses in that crisis. What we want to see a solution, a settlement that saving the dignity of all countries, declaring all countries as owner of this unity back, and be a forward-looking to safeguard this bloc, the GCC bloc, from any future disruption like what happened the last 2 years.
You're avoiding my question. What are you prepared to concede, and what are Qatar's demands?
There are no, as I told you, there are no concessions. We want to be forward-looking, and our demands that such a situation not be repeated again. And we say it before, we are willing to discuss anything except things that affecting the sovereignty or interference in our domestic or foreign policy. These are the main things.
Are we days, weeks, months away from the end of this?
Well, we believe that we are still at very early stage, and what happened in the last 2 years and a half was a lot, and I think there is a need for some time to rebuild that trust again.
Anwar Gargash, who is the Minister of State for Foreign Affairs in the UAE, tweeted the following: "The recent Qatari leaks regarding the resolution of the Doha crisis with sister Saudi Arabia without the three countries are a repetition of Doha's endeavour to split ranks and evade obligations." He went on to say Riyadh leads a broad front of its brothers in this and other regional files and is committed to the demands of its allies, and those are essential and solid. Your response, are you trying to split the ranks by opening channels of communication with Saudi Arabia?
We are not the ones who united them or who is splitting them, and with the respect for the minister who said that Qatari leaks, it's not a Qatari leaks. We are talking visibly and with official statements that there are some progress with Saudi, so it cannot be called leak in the first place. And if in our conversation with Saudi, we want to address the issue that hurt the relationship between Qatar and Saudi, and I think this is a legitimate right for both countries. What we are talking at right now is the talks between Qatar and Saudi that should lead to a resolution for GCC crisis. We are not ignoring others, but this is the channel that started already.
Has there been pressure on both you and Riyadh to end this dispute? Is that where the sort of fulcrum for this progress is coming from?
Well, we have seen that our allies are not happy with the situation in the Gulf, and we are not happy with the situation in the Gulf. We don't want to say that this is a result of pressure, but we hope that this is a result of goodwill of both parties to engage in a constructive solution.